I don't mind telling you how old I am. I am so proud to be 85, and 2 months from today, I'll be 86. My name is Lucile Martin Broxton Day, and I'm from Greenville, Florida, my home. I've been here since I was 2 weeks old. The reason being, my mom went to Quincy where there was a good midwife, as did Ray Charles' mom. Within 2 weeks, moms could come back home. So Greenville is home. I've been here for all of my life except for the college time and the marriage time. The land that I'm living on was purchased by my grandparents, Green and Victoria Howen. We moved here in 1939. I was 5 years old, and I have been here since. This is home, and I enjoy home. We all treat each other well, for the most part, here in Greenville. We're like a big family, and the village is here. This is the village because everybody knows everybody. We support people. For instance, the other day when I came home, there were these greens, and I knew somebody brought them. And once upon a time, we didn't lock our doors. Someone would come and leave veggies or whatever they needed on your kitchen table or on the porch. I had a garden since I was a little girl. I enjoy working in the garden, watching things grow. But the best of all is seeing the smiles on people's face when I give them my veggies. Every year, I'm able to give more veggies away than the previous year. Isn't that wonderful? Greenville is in the panhandle of Florida. We are 42 miles east of Tallahassee in Madison County. Greenville is an unusual place for me. It once was a very busy, busy town, bustling. On Saturdays, you could hardly get around on the street, so many people were there. We had department stores, movie theaters. Now, since the economy is down because the workplaces went away, we are looking pretty good. We are currently going to have a grocery store downtown again. Senior Citizens / Teen Building is going up as we speak. We're going to have a business here, a mattress factory. So we're feeling good about Greenville. Things are looking up. Well, the community is a bit more mixed than it was. We've always lived next door to people of another color, always played together, had fun together. Greenville's population has decreased over the years because of the work opportunities. People are still here and are still striving. We're doing our best to help each other and support each other. I had the most fun for a living. What I did was work with children. I taught school here in Greenville for a number of years, and I served the last 14 years as director of elementary education and student support services, which included a lot of different jobs. I have an extremely good relationship with my students. In fact, I'm going to send one a card. Another student left a card for me with his address on it. My students come back to visit me. They bring their children to see me, and we just have a wonderful time together. When we have our mass school reunions, the students come back. I was on a committee, and I was the first person they saw, and I got fired from that committee because I held up the line. We were just hugging all the time. I wasn't doing anything but hugging. So I just got off that committee, and I just greeted and hugged because that's what I was doing. Really don't have really worries. I know where to take my worries. I do have some concerns. I'm concerned about our young people. Very much concerned about our young people. One night, as I put my newspaper down, I was in bed reading, I heard a click coming from the carport. I heard another click, went to the door, turned on the light. lo and behold, there was a familiar face looking at me. He was trying to break into my car. The familiar face ran into my garden, and I went out and talked to that familiar face in my garden, telling that familiar face, you know you've done something wrong, and that's not the way you are raised. We don't do that to each other. You can lead a better life than this. And I guess I must have preached to him about 30 minutes, and he was in the garden flat. It was in the fall of the year, so nothing really was growing there. And I gave him an opportunity to jump the fence and leave. And after that, people asked, who was it? And I never told, because I could see that this young man needed a change. Mothers would ask, was it my son? Was it my son? Not telling, not telling. Still don't tell. He still calls me, and to this day, I've never told anyone his name. And nobody knows that but the two of us. My concern about the younger generation is somewhere there's a gap in their knowledge of the history of what we're supposed to do at different ages. I don't think they are finding and using the opportunities available to make a better life for themselves. I mean that in a way to express that children sometimes do not seem to understand the struggles that other people go through to help them to accomplish what they can accomplish, and they don't do their best. Maybe they are not encouraged by the right people. I don't know. But I am concerned because I don't think a lot of young people are going to be able to live their best lives. My great-grandmother, Rachel Roberts Hughes, came from a plantation in Jefferson County, Florida. To me, freedom means being able to take advantage of all the opportunities presented should you wish. Good opportunities, not bad. I was involved in all of the things going on in Tallahassee during the time of the bus boycott and the sit-ins, and I never got an opportunity to be arrested, though we did sit in some places. People were kind. I did participate in ways that I could. I would take students to their destinations when I went to Tallahassee. As a child, I went to a segregated school. We had to walk to school. The two men in our community out in the rural areas made makeshift vehicles so that they could transport the students to the school here in Greenville. Went to Greenville Training School. That's how we told the difference between the black schools and the white schools. The black schools were training schools, and they trained us well. Our teachers, I think, were visionaries, because way back in the day, who in Greenville had plumbing? Yet they taught us how to take a proper shower. Who in Greenville thought that you would be eating a 13-course meal? Yet they taught us how to do just that. We were taught how to take things of nature and make use of them. For the prom, we brought no decorations. The guys went out in the woods and got different kind of branches and different kinds of little trees, decorated the place. The girls would do the paperwork for it, and we had beautiful proms with just a record player until one day Ray Charles came home and he played for us. That was fun. My reaction has always been to feel sorry for the person who is discriminating against somebody. I have never retaliated. Well, I thought that there was something lacking in the way they were brought up, that maybe they weren't taught to love people and that there was a gap somewhere, and somehow my reaction was always to feel sorry because I felt that they were missing something in their lives. No, I very seldom get angry. That has amazed me because normally you get angry at things like that. Instead, I would always try, well, why is that person feeling that way? Well, what's wrong? I feel so sorry for that person. He can't get it right. That's just my reaction. I was one of the first teachers to integrate the schools here in Greenville. Boy, did I have fun. The students were really very sweet, very obedient. Those who were going to be troublemakers, I talked with them privately and let them know that I was there for business and I would not put up with that. And they respected that. Got a lot of support from the parents. In my science class, I was teaching about the space age, and we were wanting to see the liftoff, and we didn't have TVs in schools. I still vividly recall the moms bringing their TVs to school with the TVs on their shoulder so we could watch the liftoff. My work ethics have come from my grandparents, my family, and my community, which I call the village. If you're going to do something, do it right. When you do your work, no matter who you're working for, work as if for the Lord. Do the best you can. I remember going to Madison for a senior test. This was the big test to see if we were going to get a scholarship for college. We went to Madison, tested all day long. I came back home and told my grandmother, who, by the way, took in washing and ironing for people, Mom, I could have stayed home and helped you wash all day because I just wasted my time. She said, why do you say that? I said, there were things on that test I'd never seen or heard of before. She said, did you do your best? And I said, yes, ma'am. And she said, that's all I require, your best. And I did my best. And I tried to do my best in everything because you have to go back and do it over again if you don't. And sometimes you don't have that opportunity. I got a scholarship at Florida A&M University. The inferiority complex isn't a complex because of my color. The inferiority complex was because of the lack of reading materials, the lack of opportunities in my school. When I went to college, I had no experience with foreign languages. The only typewriter in the school was in the hallway that was the principal's office. So I never got to type. I never learned a foreign language, and I went to school feeling like, well, I haven't had all these courses other people have had. I am going to have to study extremely hard in order to maintain a C average. And I studied extremely hard and made A's and B's. Wow. When I was younger, I did have an inferiority complex. Well, I think that every child, every person has within himself a desire to accomplish something and to dream dreams. And I don't think at any age should anybody thwart those dreams. I think all people need to have a dream, a goal, and some encouragement to reach that goal. Mr. Needmore came into my life lots of times. Once was when I was in college, and my boyfriend's fraternity was having this big dance that everybody was so excited about. We were going to dress like they did because the theme was the Arabian Nights, and the girls were calling home asking for money for material so they could sew their outfits. I couldn't call home. We didn't have telephones. I never wrote home to ask for anything. I just made do. So I was going to go to that dance anyway, and I knew how I was going to do it. One of the ladies, Miss Lois Cooper Leith, that I work for, had given me this beautiful strapless yellow swimsuit. I had sheer drapes up to my college dorm window. Idea: take the curtains down, put an elastic belt on, hook the curtains onto that, wear your swimsuit, and go to the dance. I did, and boy, did I have fun. I had on some wooden shoes from a girl down at the dorm down the hall, and I had a good time. Got lots of compliments on my beautiful outfit. It was a little different from everybody's, so when I came home, I put the drapes up to the window and returned the shoes. I married my college sweetheart, Stanley Broxton, Jr. We stayed engaged a year after we graduated because I wanted to be independent. We lived in Boston, Massachusetts for a while. He was in the Army as a second lieutenant. We lived in Burlington, Massachusetts, a suburb of Boston. We were the only people of color there, so it was interesting. Sometimes the children would say to me when I took Michael, our oldest son, out for a ride, "Lady, you stayed in the sun too long." And one little girl looked at my baby in the carriage, put her hands on her hips, and said very accusingly, "And you let your baby stay in the sun too long, too." So I explained to her why we were tan and why she was the color she was. That would often happen when I went to doctor's offices and encountered other people, because there were not many people of color in that area at that time. If there is a secret to aging, this is it. Do the best you can when you can. Treat your body and your mind right. Grow in the right spirit. Treat other people like you want to be treated, and enjoy life. What I think about death is what I experienced. One night, I wondered, how does it feel to die? My dream showed me how it feels to die. In that dream, I was stretched out, dying. On another cot, Christ was there. The room was aglow with a white light, and I felt like the tiredness was just leaving my body. It was such a good feeling. So I do not fear death at all. The legacy that I would like to leave behind for my grandchildren, my family, and my friends is to look within more. Many times we spend a lot of effort, activity, looking for things without. My theory is many times we already have what we are seeking for if we just look within. Perhaps people would describe me as the little old lady who moves in a hurry. When I look in the mirror, I see that strange little old lady who lives at my house that moves things sometime. But really, when I look in the mirror, I see me just the way I've always been. I'm me. You know, I feel like I've always felt at least 16. I feel at least 16 years old. I get around as I always did. I'm able to drive places and climb places. My children don't want me climbing, but I'm able to do whatever I've always done. My name is Lucile Martin Broxton Day, and this is my brief but spectacular take on the joy of living.